What's up, guys? Welcome to this video. I was going to say another video, but I don't really have many that are in this format. So today, I'm going to make this quick, but I want to build something based off of an inspiration. So I went on Pinterest, I found a picture, I've brought that into Studio, as you can see, and I'm going to try to recreate this as close as possible. With the exception of a couple things, like this tree plant in the middle, the picture behind it. There's just certain things I'm not going to be able to do as well. But everything else I'm going to try to recreate pretty closely. So for a quick breakdown, we have a nice long couch. It's a L-shaped couch, a sectional, if you will. We have this sort of coffee table, which looks like it just has like 4 prop legs on each side, that kind of slant. So that's going to be super quick and easy. We have a couple bowls, or maybe this is like part of this plant potter. But we have this bowl, this like vase, and then it looks like there's like a little plate underneath it. Not sure what that is back there. Looks like it could just be a cube of something. Yeah, I'm not sure. And then we have these like little ottomans or like square seating. I'm not doing anything in the back. I'm just focusing on like this main situation here. We have like some dark wood flooring, a rug, concrete walls, and then there's just windows on this side. So this should be pretty simple. Yeah, we got a lamp back here. Again, another bowl. Looks like a little table back there. I'm going to assume that's just a square table. And then we have this sort of like entertainment center or cabinet. And then that's what the picture sits on top of. There's some thing back here. Not sure what that is. And then also a little whatever that is there. That could just be texture from the wall, but I'm not sure. I'm in no way trying to plagiarize this. I literally just went on Pinterest, found this, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool to recreate. So hopefully it doesn't come across that way. This isn't going to be published or anything. It's just kind of for me to work on my talent. So yeah. So we are going to start with the quick shape of just the room. I'll probably end up just building this balcony, but the whole backside, like where I'm going to be taking the picture from, is going to be empty because there's no point in building that. I don't know what it looks like, and I don't really know how to compare it to the rest of the place. So we're going to go in here. We're going to bring in a block avatar. That'll be our reference. And I'm going to scale him up just a little bit because these don't tend to shape up to the proper like size proportions, and that may be different because, for example, my character is a lot taller. I think I have my proportions set to like 75, so that's a lot better than what it would be. Before, he would have been like super short, and it just doesn't feel right. But again, my avatar is a little bit taller, but not quite the tallest it can be. Okay, so we have this. We have our picture back here. I'm going to size that up just so I can see it. From kind of clear back here, we're going to go into lighting, atmosphere, and we're going to go ahead and turn that down. There we go. Okay, so we'll start with sort of these windows. It also does look like there's like a lip there, and it looks like that. Maybe that doesn't go all the way around. That looks like that connects there. Okay, so we'll start with just that concrete back there. So we'll say it's about like that. We'll just bring this guy over here. We need it in light. Yeah. So that's pretty tall because you have the balcony as well, but the balcony is pretty close to the ceiling, it looks like. Maybe. So we'll go just a little taller. That looks pretty wide enough, maybe just a little more. We'll make that a little thicker. And then I'm going to start with ROBLOX textures, but I'm going to bring in some of my own. Not my own, but some that I've sourced from a website. Just to make things look a little bit better. So we have that, and then it looks like we have a window with white walls. And there's a little curtain back there too. I need to keep that in mind. So the wall goes from the top. So we'll start with just... you see, it's hard to tell the depth of that, but you can kind of tell from up here where this connects to like this wood. You can see that it's flush, and then this wood goes pretty deep. So that kind of tells me that this is fairly deep. So we'll make sure that's where it needs to be, and we'll pull it back quite a bit. Something like that. We'll bring this up all the way. Okay, just like that. Go ahead and duplicate this and just flip it like that. And then we'll go ahead. It's not too long. Those are kind of skinny windows. Yeah, so we'll go something like that. That looks good to me. We'll actually go just a little bit less because I'm going to bring this over flush. Like that. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and grab this, bring this down. Just like that. And then for the walls, we'll use plaster. And then we'll just kind of keep that a lighter color. It's pretty white in the picture, but I don't want to be too crazy with it. So something like that. It might even be just a little skinnier. That feels like that could be a little wrong. So we'll grab this guy here. And we'll kind of bring these in a little bit. These are just going to be really skinny windows. Again, I'm not trying to get absolutely perfect, but I want it to be as close as possible. And then I'm going to go ahead and extend this out as well, just because that's what I'm going to be building these windows off of. So the windows are fairly deep, so we'll start with that general kind of depth. I think that's actually a pretty good width as well. So we'll stick with that all the way. And again, the ceiling is going to be kind of tricky just a little bit, but we'll make it work. So I think for this, we're just going to do smooth plastic for now, and we'll do black, but we'll bring it up just a hair, just so it's not like not visible. So we'll do that. I'm going to guess the window like between each deal there. I'm going to guess that that's going to be like 10 studs. But I guess we'll see. It could go a little more. So maybe we'll do 15. We'll go just a little. We'll just do 20. 20 works for me. So we'll bring this out a couple times. Look like there's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Make sure I didn't duplicate that already. Okay. So that'll work there. We'll bring this back to our 0.05. And then we have one that runs through the middle, and it looks like it does kind of an L shape. And that's somewhat center. So we'll grab our center one, duplicate that, rotate that. That way it's like this. We're going to, because it's not flush, we'll bring this back in just a little bit, like that. And then duplicate it, rotate it, and then we'll sort of line this up best we can here. Which I'll just grab it, bring it to the edge, make sure we're lined up. And then we'll go ahead and just bring this back. And then for sake of being able to see it, I'm just going to shrink that down a little bit. That way you can see. We'll grab this, go back to our plugin, both, and then we'll just go all the way. So again, nobody's going to see what's past this. So I'm not going to worry about lining everything up absolutely if the player's not going to see it, or if you guys aren't going to see it. And then there's a stripe back there. So we'll go ahead and bring this up about there. Again, these aren't too proportioned because the more I look at it, it looks like these are taller and these are kind of short. But I guess compared to a person, or our template at least, it should be pretty all right. So we'll just run with that. We'll make this guy just a little skinnier here. And then it looks like that's it. See, but it also looks like there might be like a deal for the actual window. So it looks like all of these kind of do something like this on like the edge. And then that could be where the window is. So I think for the sake of this, I'll just duplicate that. Ooh, that's going to bother me if that's not right where it needs to be. I better just do them all individually. That way I know they're perfect. Bring that in a little bit. Go over here, bring this one. And then we'll just do the same for this end one here. Okay. While we're at it, we might as well do this one, just so I can have a few different angles. That way I can do an angle like this, and then I'll do one straight on, kind of like the picture is. Okay. We'll snap over here. We'll bring this out. It looks like there's like a doorway there, or maybe that's a window or a mirror. I don't know, but we're not going to do that. Again, we're not going to focus too much on anything outside of the like center of the picture. So that doesn't go all the way to the top though. That only goes like, maybe it does, because you can see it goes behind the balcony deal a little bit. We'll go a little more. And then we'll make this wood. I think we'll just do wood. We'll do like just a brown, but maybe like a red brown, something like that. And then we'll just go ahead and flip that as well, just so it matches the grain. Okay. And then we'll just build this balcony real quick. So it goes to the end. Man, this is going to be a huge living room. This does not feel to size, because now that I think about it, you're going to have your entertainment center deal and then like the length. So maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. Let's do myself a favor and let's bring all this in, because that is going to be a nightmare. I'm realizing I'm not sizing this properly. So we'll go ahead and move that back. And then we'll go ahead and move these back as well. Okay. This looks a little more doable. Now you'll have, well, even then, yeah, because the couch covers most of it. But these are very large windows, which I don't really like. Okay, we're going to do myself a favor, and we're going to move all these in like 10 studs. So we'll just grab these centers, move them in. We'll grab these centers. These will move twice to match that one, and they should match fairly well. We'll move this one in 3 times, and then this last one we'll move in. There we go, and then we'll just duplicate these all the way to the end. So that's going to make for thinner windows, but I think it'll work either way. So that works there, that works there. That looks a little bit better. I'm liking that now that we've kind of fixed that. Okay. We'll get back to this balcony real quick. Make sure I'm back on my 0.5. Okay. So it looks like there's like metal slats there. So, and then there's, you can see a little bit of the wall as well. So we better just grab this, move this over, something like that. And then we'll just move it over. So you're not going to actually see where the balcony goes, but that's okay. Okay. So that goes something like that. That's pretty thick. So we'll just make this thick and then we'll account for the rest later. So something like that. We'll do a good balcony size compared to a person. So we'll do, that looks good to me. We'll go ahead and just bring this out and leave it. And then looks like it goes immediately from the floor to the railing. And there's glass maybe. Can't tell if that's a reflection or a shadow. So go in here. Just go ahead and duplicate this, turn it that way. Line these up here. And then we'll shrink that down. And shrink that down like that. And then we'll make the metal slats real quick. Something like that. We'll rotate this. We'll bring it down here. Okay. Something like that. And then we'll do, I'm thinking 5 studs. That way they're not too close. And then we'll grab these couple here. Duplicate that, bring it well past, and then bring it back. And then we'll do the same thing. Here we go. And then there's also metal slats that go this way. So we'll do like 2. That'll make a nice boxy shape. And then we'll grab these so there's no clippage, which I guess there's going to be anyway. And it wouldn't matter because the player wouldn't see it. But we'll do that. Grab this. And we'll shrink those down a little bit. Okay. And then we'll grab this whole thing, minus the walls. And I think we'll actually do metal for this. Yeah, that'll work. And then the top doesn't matter because, again, you're not going to see it. So we'll just do the railings real quick. And for sake of doing it quicker, we're just going to start right here. It's a little tricky when it's black because you can't see. There we go. So we'll bring that in a little bit. And then we'll just do like a little railing here. We'll do, they're pretty short, so we'll just something like that. And then we'll close it off at the top. Okay, there we go. So we'll rotate. Okay. I don't think I'm going to worry about putting glass in there. Well, no, I might as well. We'll just grab this, get down like that. Yeah, that'll work. Change this to glass. And I want to do kind of like a orange. That way it has sort of that tint, but that might be too aggressive. I don't want a crazy orange. Just something that's like noticeable. Something that'll fit the vibe of the house. And that doesn't really. We'll just stick with a darker one. That works. So then if we just grab these, little trick for you. Duplicate this, move it over, and with the new ROBLOX update that added that little number thing under your arrow, it says 5.35, and that's to the edge. So now we can just change this to 5.35, and now they'll move perfectly to the edge without you having to do all that work. Boom, just like that. Okay. So that'll work. I'm liking that. And then for the floor, there's carpet, but it looks like it's just gray flooring. So we'll just... Ooh, see, that's what I can't tell if that goes down all the way. Just for the sake of so the floor doesn't show past it, I'm just going to bring this down. And I don't think I'm actually going to add a window because like I'm not adding none of the outside. So, ooh, I also better do this before I forget too. We'll do pretty thick because you can see it's kind of thick up there. So we'll do, ooh, maybe not that much. Something like that. And then we'll kind of guess the center here. Something like that. We'll go ahead and duplicate this. Bring this over, and I'll just do something like that. Bring it up. And because it's smooth plastic, you won't even notice if it's clipping. Because there's no like physical texture to it. So I think I'll just leave it as is, and we'll just kind of work with it. And then we'll kind of bring that over. Looks about right. And then there's one down the middle as well. So we'll just rotate this. Make that skinnier that way and skinnier that way. There we go. Okay, so that'll stop that from happening. So now we have a pretty, pretty solid base going on here. This will be wood, something like that. I guess it looks gray, but it's hard to tell with the sun reflecting on it. It could be brown. I think brown would fit the best. I guess maybe gray would fit. But I'm gonna grab some different textures here, and I'll update this, and I will be back when I update it. Alrighty, so this is what I've kind of settled on. So for the floor, I just kind of did this like wooded lines texture. I don't really know what you would call it, but it's just kind of like a single grain wood. I don't even know. But yeah, that I went with, for these windows, I went with a very reflective metal. Like it reflects everything. I'll show you up here. You can see that it literally reflects, like it's reflecting this over here. It reflects the windows here. You can see like the general shape. It's just a very reflective metal. It really helps with like realism builds, especially. So I went with that. I added the lights that you can kind of see in the picture, but not really. I just kind of added those, and I actually got them to push some light out. I may end up just changing them to white because I'm not really liking the yellow on the wood. It just doesn't really look that good. And then I added the ambient lighting as well on the walls, so you can see it's reflecting off the concrete like it is here. And then I added the wood border. I opted for a little bit of a darker wood, opposed to this light wood. I just feel like it kind of fits that. I don't know. I think it all looks pretty good. Yeah, so it's not perfect, but it's a good start. I think that's a pretty solid base for, and then once we get furniture and everything, it'll look a lot better. I'm gonna adjust this light real quick. Okay, so it only goes there. So I think we'll just do white. Maybe not too aggressive. Bring it down a little bit. Ooh, maybe even just a little more. I just want enough for you to see the detail and the shininess and all that good stuff. And then we'll obviously have to go through and change the color to just like a white. Bring it down a bit so you don't see as much as that emission. There you go. I think that looks a little bit better. So this will be just the first video. I'm probably going to do no cuts. I'm probably just going to upload this as is. And then in the next video, which should come out here shortly, I'm going to work on that right after this one. I just wanted to get one of them out there. I'll be in Blender and we'll start working on some of these. All the furniture and the curtains and all that good stuff. So yeah, and then like pillows and everything. I'll put this picture in Blender too, and then we'll go based off that. But yeah, this is a pretty solid start. Ooh, before we go, I actually want to add. I didn't even think about it. So there's a column right here. All right, I just want to add that real quick. I think it'll look cool. So we'll make it fairly big. That way it's really noticeable. And it just kind of goes up and out. And then it merges with the balcony. Just like that. So we'll do the same metal. I think that's metal 2. Yep, that we did for that. And I think we did darkstone gray. Yep, okay. And then I'll just add that little whatever's at the bottom there. It's like a little wood. I don't even know. Wood or concrete? We'll do concrete. I think concrete will look better. So we'll bring this out a bit. And then we'll just do... Yeah, we'll do like a... Yeah, something like that. Just a nice concrete. Maybe we'll make it a little brighter so you can see. There we go. Okay. Pretty solid start. I like it. I think it turned out pretty well. I don't think this goes all the way, so I'll drop that down a little bit. It goes up just enough for you to see it, and then it stops, so I don't know. But we'll leave it as is. Oh yeah, I don't think I ran you through all the other textures. Man, I'm forgetful. So I went with this. It's called clay. I have it as. I guess you guys can't even see my. Damn, I didn't even realize that. You guys can't even see my whole studio. You can just see the center. That's fine. But so I went with clay. or that's what it's called at least. So the website called it. So you can see it's pretty shiny. It shines pretty well. It doesn't shine very good indoors, but there's no light directly on it, so that's probably why. Yeah, you might be able to see it here. Yeah, see how it's pretty, like, it looks kind of wet. I went with that. And then for this wall here, I went with just like this wood that kind of, you can kind of see it's a little shiny. It has like a clear coat on it almost. So I went with that. I just did like this reddish brown color. And then for the concrete, I just went with this, like, again, it's sort of shiny. Wow, that's really bright. Kind of shiny, but it has some dents and dings in it. Kind of similar to what you see here. And maybe that's marble. Maybe that's not even concrete and that's marble. I don't know. But we're going with concrete because we're already settled on it. So yeah, that's it. And then yeah, the ceiling, I think I went over all that. This metal is the same as this metal. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I'll have that other video. Wow, Jesus Christ. I'll have that other video out here shortly. And hopefully it turns out good. Hopefully I can live up to my true skills. But I guess we'll see. So yeah. This is the final bit there. This is the full base. I'm probably not even going to touch this. I'll just go build the assets and bring them in and put the whole scene together, and it'll turn out good. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to take some pictures and post this on TikTok real quick. So if you're coming from TikTok, thank you for watching the YouTube videos. I appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.